Welcome back, everyone. We got some more breaking news in the NFL world today. So the Jets are moving on from Davante Adams. They released the veteran wide receiver today. He was, yeah, there we go. So he was on the final 2 years of his contract. The Jets are moving on. Seemingly they're starting to kind of rebuild, kind of piece together an offense from scratch again. They have a receiver in place, but they need a quarterback and they need a guy to complement Wilson now. Nonetheless, Davante Adams is a free agent, so he's fair game to whatever team looks for his services. So possibly Green Bay would make a ton of sense. He's played for us before. He knows the city. He knows the team. He's been under LaFleur. There's other teams out there too that are going to be missing, kind of a tier one wide receiver. A team like a Kansas City Chiefs, potentially a team like San Francisco after they just moved on from Debo. So there's going to be some competition out there for him. Possibly he may follow Aaron Rodgers if Rodgers does decide to play and finds a team for this year. So we'll see. What kind of receiver is he at this point in his career here, Bryson? So we'll go ahead and just kind of run through his 2024 stats. Now, before we do, keep in mind, these stats, he only had half a season with Aaron Rodgers. The other half was out in Oakland, where they really didn't have a quarterback pretty much for the entirety of the season out there. So we'll go ahead and take a look at his PFF stats on this season here real quick. So Bryson, he graded out at a 75.8, receiving grade 76.8, so slightly above average in both of those categories. And he finished the season with 1,063 yards and 8 touchdowns. So again, half the season was spent with the Raiders, right? So you're potentially, if he had a full season with a quarterback as like an Aaron Rodgers level, or just say he comes back to Green Bay with a Jordan Love level, right? He is going to be the number one guy. He is that top tier wide receiver still, despite his age. He's still playing at a very high level in the NFL, and seemingly he has 2-3 years left. He hasn't shown any regression in his play. His hands are still there. He's still running crisp routes. So I like him a lot as a wide receiver. As I mentioned, he had 1,063 yards. Potentially could have had 1,400 yards had he had a, decent quarterback for the entirety of the season. So a great wide receiver. He is now on the free agent market. So he's there for whatever team's looking for his services. Hopefully that is the Packers is our hope, right, Bryson?
Yeah. And as always,
It's go Pack go.